Hello guys. So we've seen quite a number of sections in transfer pricing and there are only a small number of sections we are yet to cover. One of them being section 92CE, which talks about secondary adjustment, and then we have section 92D's remaining portion, which is also covered under section 286, corresponding to documentation, which talks about country by country reporting, master file, and then we also have what is called as specified domestic transactions. So these are the areas which we have not yet covered under transfer pricing. So now we are going to address a very interesting area which is recently enacted and also understand the purpose behind this particular enactment. So what are we seeing today? We are going to see this section 92CE. So what is this section talking about? This section is talking about secondary adjustment. Okay, now before we understand what is secondary adjustment, it is vital that we first address what is called as primary adjustment. So once we know what is primary, then we will be in a better position to understand the need and what is the secondary adjustment. Okay, now let us take an example. Let us go back to our friends Acer India Private Limited, AIPL. This is a company located in India, and then Acer Japan Corp. So this is another company located in Japan. Now these two are associated enterprises. Now AIPL sells laptops to AJC for rupees 50 crores. So AIPL sells laptops to AJC for rupees 50 crores, and what happened? They have filed the return of income stating that they have had an income of 50 crores and then they have paid the taxes. Now for this year, the assessing officer has picked up AIPL's assessment, and he has worked out the arm's length price under section 92C read with rule 10C. So this is what we have already seen earlier. Section 92C talks about the various methods of determining arm's length price, and then rule 10C talks about the most appropriate method which has to be considered for the purpose of determination of arm's length price. Now based on this, the arm's length price is determined as rupees 60 crores. So AIPL states that, boss, my income is 50 crores. Department is coming back and telling them, boss, you're wrong. It has to be 60 crores. You have understated your revenue. Please add back 10 crores to your profit. Offer it for tax. So this is the stand taken by the department. Therefore, arm's length price minus transaction price, the difference that we see here is called as primary adjustment. So whatever problems we have done under cup method, whatever problems we have done under resale price method, whatever problem we have done under cost plus method, whatever problem we have seen under profit split method, all these will tell us what is the arm's length price, and it will also give us what is the transaction price. If the arm's length price is beyond the transaction price in case of a revenue transaction, what do we call it? We call it as a primary adjustment. So whatever adjustments we have seen so far is called as primary adjustment. Now, up to the assessment year 16-17, things used to be like this only. What were they used to, what did they do? They used to pick it up for assessment. They used to find out the arm's length price, and then they will go ahead and tell the assessee, boss, you're wrong, this is the arm's length price. The assessee may either go to DRP or he may go to CIT appeals, he may win the case, he may lose the case, but ultimately it used to get settled here. Now because of this, what used to happen? Let us take the case of AIPL. AIPL, when they made the sale, they would have accounted for it like this: AJC account debit, because they are the debtors to sales, and they would have accounted for 50 crores. Correct? So this is how the accounting entry used to happen. Now, what was the issue that the department saw in this? Now, by finding out that 60 crores should be the arm's length price. By finding out that 60 crores should be the arm's length price, what happened? The exactly rightful income got subjected to tax. So what happened? 60 crores got subjected to tax. Fine. But there was another issue. What was that? Generally, these type of transactions happen between a company located in India and a company located outside India. So when these transactions happen, what additional aspect also happens? The inflow or outflow of foreign exchange happens. Now, because of this transaction happening at 50 crores when it should have happened at 60 crores, what has happened? There is a shortfall of 10 crores. Shortfall of forex revenue by 10 crores. So the inflow of forex into India has come down by 10 crores. So the revenue authorities wanted to address this issue. They wanted to make sure that the inflow of foreign currency is being appropriately handled. So what did they ask the SSC to do? In the year 2017, our finance minister was Mr. Arun Jaitley. So what did he tell? He told that where there is a primary adjustment, I will specify a time limit. This time limit, once it is approved, you will have to make sure that you receive this money from your associated enterprises located abroad. So the moment the finance bill got the assent, this section would come into life, and every additional primary adjustment that happens after that, what should they do? They should ensure that not only taxes are paid, but also the original transaction itself becomes in line with the arm's length price transaction. So what is the original transaction here? Original transaction is 50 crores. You cannot account for 50 crores. You have to ensure that accounting also happens for 60 crores. This is secondary adjustment. What is primary adjustment? The difference between arm's length price and the transaction price on which you pay the tax liability by adding it to your taxable income. Primary adjustment. Whatever primary adjustment you have taken, account for it in the books of accounts. Secondary adjustment. So this is secondary adjustment. Sir, assuming that I added to the books of accounts, what can the accounting entry be, sir? The accounting entry instantly will be the balance. AJC account debit 10 crores to sales 10 crores. Sir, most of the entities follow mercantile system. So they are going to ensure that everything is booked as at a credit stage itself, at accrual stage itself, the revenue is considered. Now, if I keep quiet, why will the department even come? How will the department even come to know? Now the department came up with another check. What did the department tell? Boss, accounting is one side of the story. You have to repatriate this money. You have to get this 10 crores. This 10 crores, this 10 crores that you see here, 60 minus 50, this 10 crores, you have to get it back from AJC. AIPL has to get this money from AJC in terms of foreign currency, and there was a time limit that was given for this. Now, to further ensure compliance, Finance Minister did not stop there. He told that in case you fail to retrieve the money within the time limit I have specified, we will consider this 10 crores. What is 10 crores here? This 60 minus 50, 10 crores will be treated as advance given to associated enterprises. So it will be treated like a loan given to an associated enterprise. Now, if it is treated as a loan given to associated enterprise, what is the next headache? They will start asking you to charge income on that and offer it to tax. So what should you do? Once there is a primary adjustment, you have to account for it in the books of accounts. Once you account for it in the books of accounts, within the stipulated time limit, you should get it back from your associated enterprise. If you don't get it from the associated enterprise, another big headache is that it will be treated as a loan and you will be asked to offer interest income on that loan to tax. Is it clear? So this is the basics of what is called as secondary adjustment. Now, just listen to me. This might run into one more lecture. I'll break it out in such a way that it just does not cross 35 or 40 minutes so that it is not too taxing. Now, this is a very, very interesting area. Could be tested for MCQs or probably even for problems that might come up in 6C as well as 7. So please pay attention now. Now, before we understand about secondary adjustment in detail, let us understand why this is done. This is done because, as I told you earlier, if you look at the earlier scenario, accounting profit used to be 50 crores. Okay, assuming that profit also is 50 crores. For ease of understanding, let us not go and check what happened to the expense, income minus expenses, profit, all that is agreed. Let us take for ease of understanding, accounting profit is 50 crores. Taxable profit is 60 crores. Why? Because arm's length price is 60 crores. Now, try to understand something. If this is on account of any provision of law, for example, take PGBP. There is a provision for gratuity. This provision for gratuity you have made in the books, but you have not paid. You will disallow this amount. When you disallow this amount, there is a difference between accounts and tax, which is acceptable because of the provision of law. But now transfer pricing is only to ascertain the rightful price that needs to be charged. That is only a rightful price that needs to be charged. So there need not be any profit differential between the books of accounts and tax. Therefore, they want you to make sure even the books are brought in line with the tax position. So what is the purpose of secondary adjustment? To make sure that the books of accounts are in line with the tax positions that have been taken. Fine. Now, before we understand more about secondary adjustment, let us first make sure that we don't waste our time on unnecessary areas. So, non-applicability. When is secondary adjustments not applicable? There are only two scenarios when it cannot be made applicable. Scenario number 1. Now, there is a lot of issue when it comes to accounting, following up with your associate enterprise and then getting it back, offering the interest income to tax. There are so many nitty-gritties that are there as part of this. Okay, so until there is a reasonable deviation, no point in imposing a new law in place, new section in place. So they told that let us have a threshold. So what is the threshold? So 1 crore and above. So what is it? 1 crore and above is going to be the threshold. Which means what? If it is below 1 crore, you will not be required to comply with provisions of section 92C. So what are we trying to tell? Section 92CE will not be applicable if the threshold is up to 1 crore rupees. Up to 1 crore rupees, you need not be bothered about this. You can straight away walk into and go ahead without secondary adjustment. So primary adjustment might be applicable still. Primary adjustment might happen. For example, arm's length price is 1 crore 80 lakhs. Transaction price is 1 crore 50 lakhs. So the differential 30 lakhs is primary adjustment, but there will not be any secondary adjustment in this regard. Okay, so this is the understanding from this particular section's non-applicability. Second, as I told you before, in the year 2017, this was implemented. So assessment year 2016-17 and earlier 15-16, 14-15, 13-14, etc. this provision will not be applicable. Why? Fairly simple, because they want to make sure that this provision is made applicable only from the year 17-18, because that is when it was brought into force. So two non-applicable cases. Case number 1, where the transaction value, where the primary adjustment is up to 1 crore. So up to 1 crore primary adjustment, no need for secondary adjustment. where the primary adjustment belongs to 16, 17 and earlier assessment years, there is no requirement for secondary adjustment. Okay, fine. So we have seen up to this. Now let us go ahead. Having known this, we should know what should trigger this secondary adjustment. We have simply stated that primary adjustment will translate into secondary adjustments. But does every primary adjustment work out, or is the section giving us some specific scenarios? Section is being clear in terms of defining the scenarios. So, situations resulting in secondary adjustments. Okay, now as per section 92C, there are 5 situations which are specifically given, stating that under these situations secondary adjustments will definitely happen. So situation number 1, I have gone ahead, that is AIPL has gone ahead and sold at 50 crores. Now on 31st of October, they are going to file on 30th of October, or probably let us take 20th of October. On 20th of October, they want to file Form 3CEB. They want to file Form 3CEB, which is nothing but the transfer pricing report which we get from a chartered accountant. Fine. Now this 3CEB, when they are about to file, they do the study and they find out, that is AIPL itself finds out, boss, I think we have gone wrong. The price should be 60 crores. By mistake, we have stated it as 50 crores. Therefore, I will go ahead and file the return of income. I will go ahead and file ITR 6 stating 60 crores as the profit in this particular transaction. 60 crores as the revenue in this transaction. So what has happened? What is primary adjustment? Arm's length price minus transaction price. Who has found out the arm's length price? Assessee. AIPL has found out the arm's length price 60 crores. What is the transaction price? 50 crores. Where the arm's length price is greater than transaction price, what is it called? It is called as excess money or primary adjustment. So please take note, one very important term which is called as excess money. What is it? Excess money. When you write answers in the examination, you are expected to use this terminology, excess money. What is excess money? Arm's length price minus transaction price. So this is a very important terminology. Please remember that. So now, the excess money is identified by whom? By AIPL, by the assessee himself. Has he given effect to this and paid taxes before filing return of income? Yes. Why? Because he himself has agreed that yes, price is wrong. I will have to state it at 60 crores. He has stated it at 60 crores and he has filed the income tax return considering it as 60 crores. So this is called as primary adjustment by suo motu application by the assessee. Now, when the assessee is doing this, the assessee will definitely have to do it before he files the return of income. So, before the return of income, he should go ahead and check, make sure that he has confirmed with the arm's length price, and then if there is any differential, he'll pay tax and report the arm's length price as the transaction price in the return of income. So, primary adjustment is made by the assessee himself, suo motu, at the time of filing return of income. Then you have to please go ahead and do the secondary adjustment. So, secondary adjustment is applicable. Which means what? After filing the return of income, he should go ahead and make sure that he collects the money from his associated enterprise AJC within the time limit specified, which we will be discussing, don't worry. So this is what is called as secondary adjustment. So I have determined the primary adjustment. Now I am liable to also go ahead and give effect to the secondary adjustment. Case number 1. Case number 2. AIPL has filed the return of income and then they have claimed the they have filed the return of income and they have kept the transaction price at 50 crores. Now, what has happened is that the department has taken up the file for assessment and then it has been referred to transfer pricing officer. Transfer pricing officer does the transfer pricing study. He calls for the documentation. You submit the documentation. The assessment is completed. Assessment order is received. 143.3 order read with section 92CA. They are telling that, boss, your transaction price is 60 crores, not 50 crores. There are two outcomes possible. Outcome number one, I will tell assessing officer, you are perfectly right. I have realized my mistake. I will accept this and I will go ahead, pay tax and make sure that the primary adjustment is given effect for case 1. Case 2, Mr. Assessing Officer, please don't pass the final order. Let me go to DRP. Or after the final order is received, you go ahead to CIT appeals. You have not accepted the assessing officer's order. Now, it goes to CIT appeal, you go on an appeal, the appeal is decided against you. You get the order as it was under assessment order stage itself. Okay, you go ahead, still don't accept, you go and file an appeal with tribunal. At tribunal also it goes against you, you accept and then you pass the primary adjustment by paying tax on this. So there are two issues that we have discussed here. Assessment order will result in primary adjustment if the assessment order is accepted by the assessee. Then this primary adjustment will convert into secondary adjustment also. I have received the assessment order 60 crores. I have told assessing officer, you are correct, please forgive me, I will pay tax on this and we will settle it at this stage itself. Assessee has accepted the order of the assessing officer. Okay, so now the primary adjustment will get converted to secondary adjustment and you will have to recover the money. Case 2, you didn't accept, you went on appeal CIT, again at CIT you lost, you went on appeal at ITAT you lost and you accepted. So appellate order which results in primary adjustment, and such appellate order is accepted by the assessee. So appellate order should result in a primary adjustment and that appellate order should be accepted by the assessee for it to transform into a secondary adjustment. So what is the second case? Assessment or appellate order accepted by the assessing. Okay, then secondary adjustment is applicable. So only when the orders are accepted by the assessee, secondary adjustment is applicable. Fine. Now let us go to the third scenario. AIPL sets up an entity in, let us say, Singapore. Now the income transaction between India and Singapore are protected by what is called as a double tax avoidance agreement between India and Singapore, so that no income gets taxed twice. Now, there are 10 incomes in this agreement. Okay, this agreement is generally between two countries, not companies. It is between two countries. There is a separate topic where we will go into details of this particular topic, and in case you have worked in a tax firm, you generally have good amount of knowledge on these DTAAs. Okay, they are called as double tax avoidance agreement. Now AIPL and there is a Singapore entity ASPL, for example. Now what has happened? There are 10 incomes specified in the agreement between India and Singapore. Now there is a 11th income which is not given in the agreement between India and Singapore, but AIPL and ASPL undertake only that transaction. They undertake only that transaction. Now AIPL feel that they will unnecessarily be taxed in two jurisdictions. So they want to prevent this multi-jurisdiction taxation. So they go ahead and represent to the Indian income tax authorities, telling them that, sir, see, significant of our income is from Singapore and this is a one-off transaction which is not covered the double tax avoidance agreement. So please help us out with this transaction to ensure there is no double taxation. Indian tax authorities discuss with the Singapore tax authorities, and then they pass a resolution. They pass a resolution as to how this particular transaction will be taxed if it happens between India and Singapore, which country will be taxed, what is the rate of taxation will be passed. This is called as mutual agreement procedure. Okay, so now because of this mutual arrangement procedure, what happens is that they will know how it will be taxed, at what rate it will be taxed, where it will be taxed, etc. Now, because of this MAP, if there is going to be a primary adjustment, okay, then it will translate into secondary adjustment. It will translate into secondary adjustment. So now, this MAP is the third case if there is any primary adjustment arising because of implementation of MAP, it will translate into secondary adjustment. Fine. Now, fourth scenario. What is the fourth scenario? Now, AIPL has entered into an advanced pricing agreement. Section 92CC, 92CD, we would have seen APA, rollback, etc. So please remember that. So now, there is an APA that is entered into by AIPL, okay, for a transaction between AIPL and AJC. Now, APA, if you remember, it is generally entered into for a period of 5 years. Now, by the time the APA is actually entered, you make an application, it is getting signed. It takes at least a year or two before it is finalized. So now what happens? For 2 years, you may have already filed the return of income. For the balance 3 years, you have to file the return of income, kind of a scenario might prevail. Okay, so because of this, what happens after the APA is entered into, you will have to file a modified return. Remember, we have discussed this. Now, because of this modified return, if there is a primary adjustment arising where the APA is entered into after the due date of return of income, and if there is a primary adjustment arising, or if the APA is entered into before the return of income and still there is a primary adjustment arising on account of APA, it will translate into a secondary adjustment. So the next point is that APA based primary adjustment will get subjected to secondary adjustment. Okay, now last point, section 92CB safe harbor rules. So what is safe harbor rules? They would have already given us what is acceptable thresholds of application. If we apply or if we operate within those thresholds, then generally the assessing officers will not question us about the international transaction or the arm's length price for that matter. So this is called as safe harbor rules. If there is any primary adjustment arising on account of following the safe harbor rules, they will also get transformed into secondary adjustment. Okay, so when is secondary adjustment not applicable? There are only two cases. That is, the primary adjustment value should be less than 1 crore, or primary adjustment should correspond to assessment year 16-17 and earlier. If it is pertaining to assessment 17-18 onwards, secondary adjustment will be applicable provided the primary adjustment is more than 1 crore. Okay, so this is on the non-applicability grounds. There are 5 scenarios where we will have to go ahead and apply the secondary adjustment. So what are the 5 scenarios? Scenario number 1, suo motu primary adjustment incorporated by the assessee himself in the return of income. Then that primary adjustment will get translated into secondary adjustment. 2, any assessment order or appellate order which is being passed and accepted by the assessee will get transformed into a secondary adjustment. Third, where there is a mutual agreement procedure that is being entered into and the resolution is being passed, then there will be any primary adjustment in that regard. That primary adjustment will get translated into secondary adjustment. Then fourth issue was regarding APA, where there is an advance pricing agreement entered into by the assessee and there is any sort of primary adjustment that arises for either the years for which return has already been filed or for the years in which return is to be filed, then that primary adjustment will be translated into secondary adjustment. Finally, on account of following of safe harbor rules, if there are going to be any primary adjustments, those primary adjustments will also get converted into secondary adjustment. So, what have we seen so far? What is primary adjustment? Arm's length price minus transactional price. If there is any gap, that is called as primary adjustment. What is secondary adjustment? Booking this primary adjustment into the books of accounts and recovering the money from the associated enterprise is called as secondary adjustment. Then what else have we seen? What is called as excess money. Excess money is an important terminology. Whenever we do problems, you'll understand why I keep stressing on the term that is important. Excess money is also known as the excess of arm's length price over the transactional price. Now, some of you might have a doubt. Sir, you've been telling about income. What happens with the expenses? Suppose purchase value by AIPL is 50 crores. But actual purchase as per arm's length price is 40 crores. What would I have? What I would have done? I would have added back 10 crores telling that excess expenditure booked. Therefore, this 10 crores becomes the excess money. You will have to recover it. And if you don't recover it, you will have to consider it as an advance and charge interest income on that. Are you able to understand? If it is income, that is, if it is sales, what happens? The revenue, if you have booked short, the surplus that you should book will be recovered. If you have booked excess expenditure, whatever excess you have booked, you should recover it from your associated enterprise. Okay, and then you will have to consider it as advance if you are unable to recover it within the specified time limit, and then you will have to charge interest income on it and offer it to tax. Now, there are 5 scenarios which we have already discussed where we have to see the applicability of secondary adjustment, where there is a suo motu application by the assessee, assessment order or appellate order which are accepted by the assessee, and then mutual agreement procedure resolution passed, because of which there is a primary adjustment which will translate into secondary adjustment. Then we have seen about APA, advance pricing agreements, because of which if there is any primary adjustment, that will also get translated into a secondary adjustment. And then the last scenario in respect of safe harbor rules, if there is going to be any primary adjustment, they will also get translated into secondary adjustment. Fine. So we'll stop with this. Just process this. Make sure you drum these points into your head, because the next session will be a bit more heavy, where we will try to understand how we determine the time limit, what is the excess money that we have to consider, what is the interest to be charged, for what period interest to be charged, and then what is the way out of this Chakravyuha kind of arrangement called as secondary adjustment. Okay, fine guys, we'll catch up in the next session. Thank you.